Hi everyone, I'm Tony Jackson. Here is your weekly reading for the week of 19th to the 25th of February 2018. Have I got those dates right? Yes, I have. 19th to the 25th of February 2018. Well, you can watch these videos at any time, really, but I do specifically ask my guides and angels for a process or a healing technique for the upcoming week that we can work with, and I do believe anybody that is attracted or comes across my videos, it's no coincidence. I feel that this healing technique will be then for you through law of attraction. So if you haven't come across my videos, then welcome to my video channel, and if you have, then welcome back. I hope you enjoyed last week's process. Last week was actually a 3-step process, and I'm going to go through that again quickly in a moment, because we're moving on to the fourth step of that process for this week. So I actually had a couple of months break, and this is my third video back from the break. I had most of November, December, January off, so it was quite a big break, and then I thought I better start back with the videos because I miss doing them. So here I am, returned. So let's get started. So I'm just going to give a brief outline on what we did last week in last week's video, which was a 3-step process, and the main part being the first step. We actually worked with our higher self to actually ask the higher self to help us adjust our perception of the planet Earth. And the way we did that was actually hold the planet Earth in our hands, get a sense of the Earth energy as well, and just simply say, higher self, please adjust my perception of the planet Earth. And what I believe this does is actually we work with our higher self to actually begin to see more positive images, more positive expectations, because we're so bombarded with negative things. It's almost like they said that we're slightly inclined to set up a negative expectation of more negative things to happen, which is then we kind of steer our consciousness in a slightly negative way. And then they just suggested that we ask to have our perception of the planet Earth adjusted. So I believe that will have a more positive influence and a more positive effect on our consciousness. And sometimes they even pop in things that we didn't know about, and things that we need to see that are positive and we didn't know about them, like the shifting of the consciousness. Somehow we could work positively with the environment. I don't know, it'd be different for every person, but definitely that was the process that we started with last week. Now, then we went to step 2. Step 2, the second stage, was actually getting a sense of our own energy field. And our own energy field can be quite big because we tend to hold our energy in a little bit, unaware that we actually do it. And when you do get a sense of your own energy field, you can actually expand it out quite big. And it's very important, I believe, in these times of rapid changing of consciousness and raising of our vibration, that we actually do get more of a sense of our increasing energy field, or our not even increasing, where our energy field actually sits naturally. So what we actually did was expand our energy out until we felt it was in a place where we felt good, naturally sit, and mine felt like it goes way, way, way bigger than I actually allow. But then the step there was to say, higher self, please help me to be aware of my energy field, or how big my energy field actually sits. If you go too far, you might start to feel overwhelmed. If you don't go far enough, you begin to feel closed in. And often enough, we do have that closed in feeling once you become aware of how big and powerful your energy field actually was. So we're repeating the whole of last week, but anyway, that was step 2. Step 3 was actually interesting, where we worked with our higher self to actually adjust our breathing patterns. They were saying that the breathing can get a little bit restricted in some way, and it's only very slight. And the process, the third part, was, higher self, please adjust my breathing. And I felt something lift off my lung area when I said that. So nothing can go wrong, don't worry. And it's just about working with your higher self to do these simple steps and simple processes, and asking for things that we often don't think of. I would never have thought to ask my higher self to adjust my breathing. So that's a very good one to work with. So I think if the breath becomes too controlled, then something in our life might be controlled as a reflection. But I have worked with some of those processes before. They weren't new to me, but it was a good reminder last week to start working with them. And then I felt we weren't quite complete, and I was right. So they're giving us a fourth and final stage to the process this week. And it's like a top-up, because I actually have heard of this fourth step before. I have possibly worked with it in one of my other videos, but I've definitely worked with it with my guides before. And the fourth step actually is, which I'm going to give to you now, and as I said, you might have heard me do this one before. Now what was it? I've forgotten now. You've probably been waiting all week for stage 4. Now the fourth step's actually working with our breathing as well. I've got it. This is one that I've worked with before. To start off with, what you need for stage 4, just become aware of your heartbeat. So just feel your physical body, your heartbeat, the ka-thump, 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 or you can feel it in your pulse, or you can just sort of sense it, sense your heartbeat. You can put your hand on your heart and just sense, if you've got a soft, just imagine, da-dum, da-dum, whatever it is, your heartbeat, have an awareness of your heartbeat. So just tune into that for a moment. Now, at the same time you have an awareness, or you're feeling your heartbeat, at the same time become aware of your breathing. So just how you breathe normally. So you've actually got 2 things in your consciousness, 2 things in your awareness: the beating of your heart and your breathing. So when you're becoming aware of the breathing, you're just aware of whatever happens naturally. There's no need to shift or adjust your breathing, just how you breathe normally. The other process, we said higher self adjust our breathing, but for this one, it's just be aware of where you breathe normally. And this is the 4th step to the process. It's the awareness of your heartbeat and your breathing at the same time. Let's do that again. Just become aware of your heartbeat. So you're feeling the ka-pump, ka-pump, the beating of your heart. And when you've got that in your awareness, or you're feeling it, at the same time as having your heartbeat in your awareness, I want you to have your breathing in your awareness as well. And when you have your breathing, you're just aware of whatever happens naturally when you breathe. So that will be the lungs moving, because you're breathing. When you breathe, your lungs move. So you're aware of your lungs moving, and maybe you're aware of the air going in and out of your nose or your mouth, whichever way you breathe naturally and comfortably in a rested place. At the same time, aware of your breathing and your heartbeat. Now, as you're aware of those 2 things at the same time, what actually happens or occurs is a natural, almost automatic shift happens within you. So as you become aware of those 2 things simultaneously, you're actually beginning to align something within you. It's align your perceptions, align your consciousness. It almost relaxes your whole body and being. You're very safe and protected when you do these things. You only take them as far as if you're going too far and you begin to worry, that means you've gone too far with the process, and just bring it back to where you feel comfortable. And nothing can go wrong. It's just your awareness is in charge of these processes, but you are working with your higher self in a way. In a way you are with this process, but in another way it's just up to you to actually shift something within you. Now something will go click, or something will feel like it's synced, or I don't know, you just have to kind of feel it within yourself, and your breathing and your heartbeat becomes in sync or in flow. And it's just a matter of keeping your awareness on your heartbeat and your breathing at the same time. Now just sit for a while this week and think about that occasionally, and what you'll find that happens is something kind of clicks into place because your awareness allowed it to, and you're actually shifting something within your being. So that's very interesting, isn't it? So just practice that one. All you need to do is be aware of your heartbeat and your breathing at the same time. And then, I was just checking my text messages. Wouldn't you know it, you receive a text right when you're doing your anyway, just have that 2 things in your consciousness at the same time, and it will actually do some relaxation, and awareness will shift for you. Something will happen. It's like a tune-up, an inner tune-up. So that's the fourth step to the process, and that will complete last week and this week. It's like a little top up in every kind of area, but they're showing it to me as one complete healing. So the 3 steps from last week and that 4th step is the final step to the process, and it's just about giving us a little top up before we get into some bigger healings. Since I've started off on these readings again, it seems like they just gave us a little top up last week and this week. So just work with that one and see how you go. Do we need to add in an affirmation for that one? Because you got your breathing, you're aware of your breathing and you're aware of your heartbeat. Do we need to say anything? No, not really. I just think you need to be aware in yourself when something clicks into place, or it balances, or it harmonizes, or it syncs, if you know what I mean. So you need to sync your breathing with your heartbeat. Just see what happens and play around with it and see if you actually do feel relaxed when it actually begins to sync or harmonize. I'm going to choose a card. The card deck I'm working with is actually going to be the Archangel Raphael. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's not real good today. Archangel Raphael cards by Doreen Virtue. And Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing. I sometimes call Raphael the doctor angel, because it's like when I need any health concerns looked at or helped with, I often call on Raphael. And as we come up to like the change of seasons, it's often a time where we get colds and flus. I actually ask Raphael to wrap me in a blanket of light or something, just to protect me as I go through to the change of seasons. So work with the angels just to adjust your being when the seasons change as well. So as you're going into the change of seasons, even if you're going from cold to hot or hot to cold, just ask the angels, your higher self guides, to help you adjust to the change of seasons. Because when the temperature suddenly starts to change, it's good to ask the angels to help you to adjust to the change of seasons. Okay, what I do with my readings, I place the cards to my heart chakra. I bring down a column of white light, wrap it around the cards. And this column of light, I believe, you just draw on the universal energy. You can believe it to connect to the universe or an angel or light, just bringing the light energy down through your chakras, out through your heart chakra, wrapping it around the cards. It just helps you to vibrationally connect to the cards, and I believe helps you to, once you're connected with the cards at a deeper level, after using that light process, bringing down the light, you will receive more intuitive guidance, and you begin to work with the cards as vibrational tools, which means you start to see more than just the messages and the images. It's almost like the cards begin to speak to you in a way. It takes a little bit of practice, but it's good to harmonize, balance, and energize your cards using that technique. So let's just ask for a message from the cards that's the highest and best good for you in love and light, that'll bring a message or guidance for something that you need for the coming week. I'll give it a little bit more shuffle. Sometimes I do see more than just light. I see goals and all sorts of things, but the intent is for a positive, uplifting message and guidance for you for the week. Now what I do, I feel like that's enough, and I'm going to pick one from the top. Use your natural healing abilities. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for clearly guiding, encouraging, and supporting my healing work. I feel like if you have got any health concerns, that you may actually have the answer within. Sometimes it might not be the complete answer, but part of the answer to a health concern that you may be currently concerned about for your own self, you may have already received guidance, or you may be able to work on the condition yourself. So just be aware of that for the coming week, that part of it. Now, you may still obviously need to go to doctors and stuff like that, but you actually may have some of the ability to heal yourself more than you realize. So just ask your guides and angels to help you to be aware of anything that you already know that is positive and beneficial for yourself or your condition that you need help with, to actually remind you of your own gifts and abilities and talents, and that you already know how to heal yourself. So that's the message I'm getting from that card. It's possible that it may be somebody else. If you are working with somebody else on their health concern or health condition, you may actually already know the answer. So just rethink it. Is there any advice you've been given? Is there any healing technique that you've learnt that you can use to help somebody else or yourself? I'm feeling it's more people for themselves. A few of you might be worried about someone else. You have the answer, or you have the healing technique, or you already have the information that you're looking for. Sometimes we just forget. Sometimes we get a little bit worried or panicky and we go out looking for something that's going to help us, but in this case, for this week, we've already got the answer. Might not be the full answer, but part of the answer that you're looking for in a health concern with you or yourself, you already know about. Guides, angels, higher self, and Archangel Raphael, particular Archangel Raphael, please help me to remember or remind me of the healing technique or the thing that I already know. Please help to remind me and to help me to work with it to heal myself or somebody else. So don't necessarily go looking for something. You already know the answer, especially where health is concerned. I think that's going to round off our reading for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. I did actually record a special video for Valentine's Day. I was very excited about it. It's my first downloadable video, available on Vimeo now. It's around $15 Australian. I'm not quite sure how that converts in other currencies. I think it was about $10 or $11 US. But you can go to Vimeo. I'll put the link below, Vimeo on demand, and download my special Valentine's Day healing on relationships, love, attracting your soulmate, improving your current relationships, where I take you through a 4-step healing. It only takes about 14 or 15 minutes, the video, but it's actually very powerful, and I'd love to hear any comments if you actually have downloaded and watched that. I think it will be, you find it very powerful healing technique for your relationships. Okay, we're going to leave it here now. Lovely to spend this time with you. I hope you enjoyed my video. Give me a thumbs up if you've watched it. Possibly on the YouTube is where I upload them. I do actually upload them on the Vimeo as well, another website. We're going to leave you here now. Lovely to spend this time with you, and we look forward to next week's reading. Okay, lots of love and bye for now.